I say all of that to say that as you age, the things that you did when you were younger becomes part of what ails you as you get older. And so eating a lot of unhealthy foods brings on all kinds of health issues, diabetes, hypertension. Let's just deal with hypertension. I have found out that I have hypertension. It has been dealt with, is being dealt with through my diet. But as a result of untreated hypertension, I developed artery challenges. My arteries have damage. Okay, now if you think about a person who is in their 70s right now, and all of their lives they ate whatever they wanted and did whatever they wanted to do and enjoyed life. Most of us in our standard American diet, we eat plenty of salt, and we have a lot of food that have sodium in it, and we eat foods that are very nutrition poor, very poor, have very low nutritional value. So then we wind up with hypertension. Okay, and so we all know what hypertension is, and unfortunately, hypertension, I believe, is one of the highest diseases, one of the diseases that plague the African American family or culture more than anything else is hypertension. Then I think it is the Black male, the Black female, the Latino male and Latino female, and then everyone else. So I think that is the statistics. Don't, hold me to the letter, but I think that is it. And it's definitely geared toward your diet. Okay, so now I said all that to say that if you have hypertension, what happens to your body over time with this hypertension? So yeah, you can take medications, but we won't even deal with the medication. What happens to your body? So by the time you turn 70 years old, you have other diseases. You have chronic heart problems. You have inflammation, and you have all of these other things. You wind up with diabetes, and you wind up with feet problems and gout, and you wind up with emotional issues. And all of these things as a result of what is happening within your body, and it's all connected to your diet. And that's very simple. It's a diet issue. I see where Richard said his hypertension, his blood pressure was high today. What tea should I drink? Well, Richard, I'll tell you about the teas in a minute, what you should drink. What I want to get to you guys is that your diet has everything to do with how you live when you get older. So now my mom is dealing with skin issues, and she's dealing with infection in her body. Now she stopped drinking and living the way she was living a long time ago. She stopped smoking cigarettes, but was forced because of COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is COPD. She's on oxygen. She's not getting any oxygen. She's on oxygen, so she's not getting any oxygen in her body. So she's not able to feed her cells. And if she's not eating the right nutrition or getting the right nutrition in her body, she's not able to feed her body. Her blood is all mucked up and all kinds of stuff. And so all of those things with the diet leads to inflammation, and inflammation in your body manifests in all kinds of ways. Inflammation in your body manifests as diabetes and hypertension. It manifests as cardiovascular problems and heart issues. It manifests as lung problems with pleurisy and with what is that called? Tuberculosis. And you wind up with organ issues and sclerosis or all these other inflammation issues. And inflammation in your brain is Sabria, something that has to do with just cerebellum or with your brain. I think it's cerebritis, which is an inflammation of the brain. And I know that is encephalitis, a kind of swelling of the brain. So you wind up with all kinds of stuff. And if you have inflammation in your joints, you have rheumatoid arthritis. And so all of these things happen as a result of your diet. Your body has become toxic and it fights against itself. It is full of acid because of the acidic foods that you eat. And the best way to cure sickness and disease is to balance your diet with alkaline kinds of foods. So how do you get that? You get alkaline foods through fresh fruits and vegetables, and you eat a healthy diet, and in turn, your body will love you for it. Right now, hypertension and diabetes is an autoimmune problem. It's a systemic problem that causes problems all over your entire body. So what happens when it's an autoimmune problem? It means your body is fighting for its life. And it's waging an all-out war on anything that looks like it could be a enemy, even the good cells. And so your body is completely out of control. And so you're fighting against yourself. And what is that when you fight? Your fight is fear. And so what is happening to the body? The body is afraid. It is scared. It is angry. And so as a result of all those emotions, they're stored in your body, and it causes other physical problems. And so not just including the spiritual problems. And then we can go all the way back to other issues within the body that is stored that causes physiological problems and sickness and disease as you get older. And we talk about depression and when you are, you got depression, you have, what's that other word? I can't think of it. When you've been hurt and when you've been wounded, when you feel fear, when you worry, all of those become imprints in your body. And they, if not treated and dealt with, released, diffused, then they manifest as sickness and disease. And what happens, not just that it manifests as sickness and disease, but it also tells your body, I feel like this, I'm upset about this, or I have these issues, so I eat foods that support that negative thing that I feel about myself. And so as a result of that, your body can't heal itself. And so some of the things that you can do, I know Richard was saying about his blood pressure. There's a tea. I have a tea that you can drink for your hypertension. It's called hypertensive tea. But it has herbs in it that help your body. It has herbs in it. Yay. It has herbs in it to help your body to reduce the pressure that you experience with hypertension. And it also helps to boost your immune system. And really, the herbal teas are meant, or herbal remedies are meant to help your body heal itself. It is just, it's a way of getting support for your body, so that your body says, I have support, I have something that's happening. My body is getting all of the nutrients and other things that it needs in order for me to heal myself. So there is a link, Richard, that I have, and I'll place the link below, but you can go to my website, which is mamasunfiyah.com. That's MAMASUNFIYAHH. So I'll type it here, and there you go. And once you get onto my website, then there is a shop button, and then you can just press the shop button and just kind of look at all of the products that I have there. I'll look and see if I have a direct link to that herb. I may not have even uploaded it, so I might need to do some work on my website to make sure that it's there. But if you have any questions about herbs, what kind of herbs you can use and what I have available, just let me know. Also, I was talking about the aging process with your health. There are herbs that you can eat, but one of the main things to help you within your health, but the main thing that you can do in order to reverse the aging process, to keep your mind and your body healthy. Speaking of mind, Alzheimer's and all of the dementia problems with dementia has to do with your diet, believe it or not. inflammation in your body, worry, stress, and all that kind of stuff plays out in mental illnesses. And so if your body is acidic by eating unhealthy foods, then if your body is unhealthy by eating if your body is unhealthy by eating foods with low nutritional value, then you wind up with all of these other sicknesses and diseases. And of course, your doctors are not going to tell you that you can change your issue, your body, your sickness and disease by changing your diet. And so what they want to do is give you a bunch of medicine, which is what they're doing with my mom. Medicine, 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 medicine. And part of her challenge is all of the medicine she was taking helped to break down her body. And so one of the main things you need to keep in mind that you have to have a diet rich with green fruits and green vegetables, green. It helps to keep your body more alkaline than acidic. An acidic body breeds sickness, disease, cancers, and all that other kind of stuff. Alkaline body helps the body to heal itself, but there has to be balance. Make sure you keep balance within your body. But as you get older, if you are aging and your body is very acidic, then you have these issues that can be fixed, but they will never be fixed by a doctor. Your doctor is not going to tell you, hey, don't take your hypertension medicine anymore. What we're going to do is make sure that you have magnesium and cleanse your liver and cleanse your kidney. And then we're going to put you on a diet where you eat fresh fruits and vegetables so you will be healed. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to say, take these medicines, take amlodipine, for your hypertension, take lisinopril for your hypertension. That'll work, but it doesn't. It just keeps your body, it medicates your body to say, here's a Band-Aid, and we're just going to deal with the symptoms. We're not going to deal with the issue. And so that's our problem. We don't deal with issues. Now, when you say that you don't deal with issues, that manifests in a whole lot of other things. If you are sick and you are eating what you want to eat just because you want to eat that, then you are really saying that I don't care about how my family feels. I want my family to take care of me when I get older. And I want my family to be inconvenienced. I want my family's life to be put on hold. I want my children to worry about me. I don't care how they feel. I don't care what's important. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's ultimately what happens. And so we eat, and one of the biggest things that we have to do, which I'm guilty of, is loving ourselves, loving yourself, loving myself enough to say, I'm going to take care of myself now, right now, because when I get older, my children will have to care for me, and I don't want that burden on my children. So what I'm going to do is take care of it right now. And then that way I can live the best life that I can live. And then I'll die, whatever. Who knows how you will pass on. I mean, you could be jogging down the street, get hit by a car, bada boom, bada bang, you did. But for the most part, if you eat healthy, it extends your life, and it helps you to have the best life you can have. Then you'll have the time to spend with your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. And then you can run around and play with them. And your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren don't have to necessarily push you around in a wheelchair because you can't get up, and because your joints are bad, because you have arthritis, or because your feet are bad because you have gout. That doesn't have to happen. It is, and this is my personal opinion, but I certainly believe that when you do not take care of your body, you are saying, you are being very selfish, and you're saying, I don't care how you feel later. I don't care what I do now, how it's going to affect my family. And so even though we love our parents, and people get older, and that's a natural part of living, and things naturally happen to our bodies. Our skin changes, our hair changes, you lose that beautiful supple skin that you used to have, and it sags a little and it wrinkles, but those things can be taken care of with your diet and with your exercise as well. You can reverse the aging process by changing your diet to a more alkaline diet, or a diet that is healthy. A healthy lifestyle extends your life. You look younger. I'm 50 now. 50 is not old, and you should not be 50 looking like you're 75. And so those are the things that I wanted to share with you. So if anyone here that is on this blab have anything to say, if you guys want to jump in, I would greatly appreciate it. We can talk about different things. Richard is asking, what kind of foods are alkaline? Alkaline foods, you'll find foods that are high electric. I think Dr. Sebi says electric foods are your green vegetables, dark leafy green vegetables. Fruit, if you eat fruit, within moderation, but your fresh foods are alkaline. Fresh foods. If your whole diet is whole foods diet, you get basically what you need. Now, of course, sometimes you may need supplements, but a whole food diet will help you your body to stay within the alkaline range, which then will help your body be able to fight off sickness and disease. So things like kale. Of course, there's some controversy with kale, as with everything. Spinach, controversy with spinach. Collard greens. I make a good collard green wrap. If you eat foods that are raw, is how you get a lot of your nutrition. Eat them raw. One of the great ways, if you're a smoothie person like me, I love smoothies. So one of the great things you can do in a smoothie or to eat to get the right amount of vegetables is to have a green smoothie. Green smoothies are better than these fruit smoothies that, if you're trying to lose weight, does not help you. You will not lose weight on a fruit smoothie. But in your green smoothie, which is an acquired taste, but you can put in a green smoothie some collard green, maybe a little spinach, some bok choy, some Swiss chard, or those kinds of things, and use some sort of sweetener, or a healthy sweetener, maybe some dates, but just do that in moderation. Honey, if you do honey, do that in moderation as well. So hi, how are you?
Hi, Miss Mama.
Yes, Sunfire.
Hi, Mama.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you? This is Dr. Corey. I'm a life coach and career coach and business consultant.
Oh, it's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. My wife and I are in health and aging, kind of a network marketing that my wife does. But I'm into net dream marketing because I do this type of life and career coach and business consulting.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's great. That's
Yes.
great. So what is your
pleasure.
How do you feel about your diet? What do you believe your diet happens to your body as you age? Do you have any comment on your diet and aging?
Yes, I used to be a personal trainer in my 20s and early 30s. I was in bodybuilding, and personal training and nutrition and exercise and all that kind of stuff. I had a massage therapy certification as well that I worked with chiropractors and in the gym and, private and so forth. So now, basically, after all of that kind of stuff, I went back to school and got my credentials in moving forward in the mind. I have a background in psychology, business, and law. That's 2 PhD degrees, one in psychology and one in business, and master's in law. So with all that, I like to say that when, coming from that background, I could say that nutrition is number one factor of slowing down aging, I should say.
Yep.
Should I call you Mama, or what should I call you?
You can call me. You can call any Mama. You can call me Sunfire. You can call Sophia. It's okay. You can call me any of those 3 names. It's fine. Mama is fine.
Okay, Mama. I like to say that nutrition Sophia is beautiful too, actually.
Thank you.
Nutrition has three different levels. Physical, at a physical level, which I did in my physical career, basically when I was in basically personal training and all that kind of stuff, martial arts and all that kind of stuff physically. And I took tremendous amount of, watching my nutrition, vitamins, all that kind of stuff. And then when I went to basically study about how the mind works, then I realized that as important as it was for us to watch the nutrition, it was as important to watch our language.
Exactly.
Because, for example, our articulation of what comes out of our mouth, what goes into our head, and what we regurgitate in our minds, it does exactly what nutrition does to our body and aging.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And then, Mama, it has the spiritual level as well.
That's right.
In other words, our attitude, our feelings, our emotions has a higher level of frequency that we have to be pretty much aware of, whether we chant, whether we listen to certain types of music, or what kind of a noise we are around. And it's been this has been, by the way, well researched that people got cancer when they have been, workers who've been doing all kinds of construction work and they're around, all this kind of mechanical noise. It had an effect on their body that hormones were released in such a ways that was inconsistent with our natural form of, ways of growth. So that's influenced, people's bodies to develop cancer.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. What you say, you become what you say. You become what you believe about yourself. And the trauma that you experience as a young person, it leaves an imprint in your body. It leaves imprints on your organs and in your cells. And
absolutely.
A lot of it it manifests. And sometimes we think that maybe it's just my diet. I'm just eating, the wrong foods. A lot of meats nowadays have a lot of hormones in it. Yes, that's part of it, but it's also, I think they work hand in hand. I think your body craves it because it wants to support the feeling or that stagnant energy, that negative energy that's in there. So it finds ways to support that,
Yes.
And so we seek out ways to give the body what it is desiring. I think that you need to do what I call a mutation or a DNA cleanse is what I call it, where you go back in your life and you deal with all of the unresolved issues, change your confessions, you diffuse those embedded those footprints or imprints within your body, and then you support it by changing your diet.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I still have a long way to go. I lost 75 pounds as a result of going on a strict raw vegetarian, raw vegan diet. And I did that because I had
my wife has been a vegan in the past. She tells me.
Really?
Things.
Yeah. I did it because I got sick about 3 or 4 years ago. So I still have some more weight to lose. I mean, I was for my height, I was 251 pounds. And so that's really, really heavy for me. How
tall are you? How tall are you though?
I'm 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah, that is a little bit.
Yeah. The doctor
are you large bone?
Well, I don't think there
sometimes
are really
bone
large bones, but
carries.
I do. I am able to carry more weight.
So then
Uh,
that means you have to have the structure to be able to handle or
right.
carry that around, So sometimes people, when they're mesomorphic, muscle weighs heavier than fat. So
Mhm.
if you're muscular, you could be thin, but you could weigh easily 250 pounds, because I used to be in bodybuilding. I used to be
Yeah.
very thin, but then I was weighing like 235 pounds,
Hmm.
but people would think like maybe I'm 180.
Yeah. Well, that's how I am. I was in bodybuilding too, long time ago.
Oh, cool.
I never got to competition. I quit,
Hmm.
but that was one of the things I love. So I can carry a lot of weight. I did not realize that I was that heavy. I guess people would look at me and say, she's a little chunky, a little thick, but I had no idea I was 251 pounds.
Hmm. Do you do weights anymore?
A little bit.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
So how's the vegan diet for you? How is that working out?
I actually love it. Now I'm gonna tell you, I was strict the first year or two because I was scared out of my mind. I thought I was gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really strict. I've altered it. I would say that I'm probably more of a raw vegetarian. So I eat pasta, I do rice and, stuff. But before I did fresh fruits and vegetables, and that was it. That I didn't do anything else. I hardly even cooked. It
Do
was
you eat
raw.
fish? Do you eat fish?
No.
You don't eat
No.
fish either?
No. But I
Wow.
have. I mean, like I say, I've what you call cheated.
I mean, now you don't? Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah, I personally cannot. I have to keep the variety. I eat less meat, more vegetables, and whole grain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't used to crave for milk when I was younger, but I lost interest in any like dairy milk type product. But I like tofu and yogurt and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I don't eat meat, I kind of get, if I don't eat meat at all, I get nauseous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I can really not eat meat. Now that's not to say that in the time that I have changed my lifestyle, I have that I haven't eaten meat. I've eaten it, gotten sick, but my core, what I really like is fresh fruits and vegetables. It changes. I feel good when I eat it. I feel spiritually high when I eat it. When I eat meat, I feel tired and sluggish. And yeah, so I can do without meat, really. And it was funny because I bought a NutriBullet, and all I did was juiced. And I did it. I'm an extreme person, so I only juiced. And it was all green, no vegetables, no fruit in it, no sweetener in it. It was just grass. and I would drink about a gallon of green grass a day.
Wow.
Yeah, because but I became addicted to it because I'm an all or nothing person. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it all the way. And
You
when
like
I
to challenge yourself, it sounds like. You like to challenge yourself?
Yeah, I do. I do. But when I broke my NutriBullet, I started eating the stuff that I used to eat because I could not figure out that I could actually chew the food instead of drink it. I mean, I was so addicted to juicing and
Do you
blending.
take supplements?
I do now. Yeah, I take supplements now. Because I don't before, I ate all day long. So with greens, fruits and vegetables, that's very light. So I would graze all day. I would walk around with fruits and vegetables and grass. I call it grass, but spinach in a plastic bag and eat that all day long. So I got plenty of nutrition. And then I did, the legumes, the beans, nuts and seeds and stuff like that. And when I felt like cooking, I would cook my food. But normally I would just drink it all day. Yeah, all day long. But it changed though. It changed when you have an alkaline diet, when you eat healthy, it does, it opens up your spiritual intuition. It opens up your spiritual mind. I don't know if it's just the fact that your cells are actually getting nutrition, or is it does it really do something spiritual to you to connect in that manner to eat it and absorb it, but it really does play a big part in how you age, you know. And one of the reasons why I changed my diet so drastically is because I didn't want to die before my grandkids got bigger. You know, I wanted to, I just started having grandchildren. They're 4 and 2. And so at the time, my first grandchild, I wanted to be here for her, you know. And I was saying before, I don't know, you didn't catch it before, but whether people want to acknowledge this or not, part of the problem with us aging and being sick when we're older is a result of us eating the way we wanted to eat and living the way we wanted to live, which is a selfish thing. Because we don't take in consideration that what I'm doing right now, or what I'm doing as a younger person, is going to, have bearing on when I get older. And I was saying that even though you don't mean it to be that way, what it's translated in saying is, I'm going to do what I want to right now. Forget how I'm going to affect my children later. Forget the fact that my children, though they love me, they're going to have to take care of me because I can't stand on my feet because I have gout. They're going to wheel me around because I can't walk, because I can't breathe. Or, and they're going to have to, countless hours of doctor's visits and running around and changing their life because I'm sick. Because
so you did it for your grandchildren?
Yeah, I did. That was my thinking, because my chest, when I say my heart felt like it stopped and turned, it was like somebody shut a generator off and flicked it back on. And, I lost vision. A lot of things happened. But in that instance, once I realized that I wasn't dead, over time, I started thinking, well, golly, I'm going to be sick. Who's going to actually take care of me? When I can't walk from my front door to the car, who's going to help me do that? And if the answer is your children, or even your significant other, shame on you.
Exactly.
Right. Shame on you, because you have the power right now to change how you're going to be later. And so if you change what you eat now, you can live a healthier lifestyle later, and you don't have to be that burden on your family that you're going to wind up being when you get older.
So Mama, do you look at only the physical or nutritional aspect of the physical stuff, or do you also look at the other issues as well that goes with basically the subject of health and aging?
Oh, no, I look at other things. I look at not just nutrition, but spiritual. Just like you said earlier, we create a blueprint in our bodies, even our parents, by what our parents have spoken over us as children. You're stupid, or I'm tired of you. You make me sick. Well, we internalize those things, and they are housed within our bodies. And in the fullness of time, if we don't take care of them, it manifests as sickness and disease. And so those are the things that we have to deal with. That's why I say you have to change your confession.
One of the things that I've learned in the realm of physical, psychological, and emotional processes as a human being that is being more and more expressed, that is got to do with health and aging, is the how can I say this? Being regular.
Yeah. You're good.
Being regular physically, being regular mentally, and being regular emotionally.
Oh, exactly.
Any type of constipation can withhold energy from flow.
That's right.
Stagnant. Exactly. So to eat right means being in the flow.
Yep.
And, some people oh, I don't want to eat that. It makes me go to the bathroom, for example. They're concerned about putting something in their mouth that may, allow them to be more regular. Even people want to hold on to a certain belief in a sense that may not be working for them anymore. And they hold on to that and they keep on banging their head against the same wall and expecting a different result.
That's right.
So they can be constipated on a certain concept or type of a belief system or concept or any type of matrix they have created for themselves. That's another one.
Right. Exactly.
Or maybe they are holding on to a emotional investment that they do on their partner, for example, and the partner is not responding to them in a loving way, and no matter how much they giving love, they're not getting the response back. In other words, that recycling of love is not going on.
Right.
So they get
That's
constipated right. Because this love is not, circulating
right.
between them and their partner. So
That's
one of the partners becomes constipated and the other one is going out, for example, cheating, for example, and is giving their energy somewhere else.
right.
So loving, for example, love is about circulating, is about responding, is about, is a communication. So that can affect our health and aging too, because sometimes you may see someone, because I worked in, as a clinician and social worker in the past, and I saw that, what people who were in not a loving relationship, they kind of like had this frowning face. They
mm-hmm.
had this, domestic violence issue, for example, was in place, that they felt, like a victim, or they were maybe a violent person in that relationship too, and they were kind of like in that kind of a mode, like.
I lost your visual.
What?
I don't know. Did your camera go off? I don't see you anymore. I hear you, but I don't see you.
Oh, I can see you.
You can't. I don't see you.
I can see you. Maybe there is something going on, but I can see you move and everything.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where you went there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay,
I just don't see you
it
anymore.
should come back then.
Can you refresh?
Refresh.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you want me to come back again?
Yeah, come back. Just come back. Just refresh and come back.
Okay, no problem. Let's see.
So while he comes back, while he is refreshing his computer, maybe I can get that visual. I don't know really what happened. So hopefully, I don't know what it is. It might just be my camera. Yes, I agree.
We have to be in a loving environment. Sometimes I have heard couples in the past that, they had, for example, they would complain about their not only relationship, but, like usually couples, they say, oh, you know what, we have problem with our sexual relationship, for example. Mm-hmm. But if the love is not there spontaneously and lovingly and nurturingly and all of that, then what is all this diagnosis going on that, whether person has sex or not in a relationship? Because it's a spontaneous act. It comes from love. It should not be sex.
That's right.
If you can, people go as a sex addict to all these AA programs because the love is not there. The sex is there, but love is not there.
That's exactly right.
We have to have love. We have to have good nutrition. We have to have good relationship. We have to have good spiritual, good personal, good professional, good social, political, well-rounded platforms.
Balance, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
We cannot, for example, if we are being guided by a pastor who has gone around and done some sinful things,
Mm-hmm.
how can we trust that pastor, for example, as a leader to our spirituality? How can we trust a husband or a wife that is not totally 100% there in a relationship?
That's true.
The nutrition is not there. The frequency is not there. It makes a difference, Mama, when a person cooks in a loving way than just cooks because we are hungry and we just got to fill our stomach.
Exactly. We have someone who wants to break in, who wants to take a seat. So I'm going to let him come in.
Okay.
That's really true, because I think it makes a difference. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Hello, everybody. I'm fine. And you?
I'm doing very well. We're talking about health and aging and the body, and we're right now talking about nutrition. And what I was going to say with you, to you, Dr. Corey, is that that makes a difference when you cook with love. It's the energy that you put. I call it kitchen witchery. It's the energy that you put into and the intention that you put in your food. And whether people believe it or not only are you taking in that nutrition, but you're also taking in that energy, that emotion.
You taste the difference. You
can. You can tell when people cook with love than when people are just cooking, throwing something together. And it makes a humongous difference, especially when you actually take the time to find foods that are nutritionally valuable to create your meal. You're setting that entire intention. So you're saying, listen, I want to eat well. I want to be healthy. I love myself enough that I'm going to choose foods that's the best for me. And not only am I doing it for myself, I'm doing it for my family. And all of that goes into what you cook,
Exactly.
And as a result, it goes into their body, and they're fed and they're well, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and all that other kind of stuff. So
exactly.
It's very important. Masad, is that how you say it? Masad?
Yes. Hello.
Oh.
You talked about food, healthy food.
Yeah.
Yes. There are a lot of food is not healthy. Like fast food.
Yeah.
Fast food is unhealthy, but a lot of people use it because it's a quick way to grab it from any supermarket or any like McDonald's, But I believe that it is still not healthy.
Yeah, definitely. It has the least amount of nutritional value and the most chemical and the most hormones that you can eat. Aside from canned goods, the worst thing you can put in your body is fast food. Of course, when you're hungry, and that's one of the things I would tell my children. I lived on fast food. That was part of my problem. All I ate was fast food, and it's the lifestyle. So you're running all the time, always busy. So you stop at McDonald's, you stop at Burger King or a fast food place, and you eat food to fill your stomach because you're hungry, but you don't realize that you are being counterproductive to your own life, to your own existence.
Mama, I just like to say something about what you're saying. I found out that and this is took a lot of research and experience for me, that if we eat because we are really hungry, we will eat what's not really good for us.
Exactly.
Because we want to just shove it down and get rid of that hunger.
That's right.
Yeah.
But if we eat for enjoyment, that means like, we eating that is good for us, that will be nutritious to us, that would be loving for us.
Mm-hmm.
That has such a meditative kind of it's such a meditative enjoyment, actually.
That's right. You're right.
Yes, Mama.
Yeah.
I think the most important, not just food, healthy food. I think it's exercise. When
Yeah.
you do a lot of exercise, you will be healthy. You will
Yeah.
be fitter. And fast food and any food, not big problem with this issue. But the big problem, I think, exercise. A lot of people doesn't do exercise regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you from, Masad?
Now I live in UK, but I am originally from Saudi Arabia.
I see. I'm originally I'm Jewish from Iran.
Iran?
Yeah, but I live in the United States in California.
Oh, that's great.
Welcome. And you, Mama?
I'm from USA. I've been here all my life.
You could pass for like, maybe you're like from Africa somewhere. You could pass for that too.
Well, my ancestors, of course, are.
Yes.
And
but we are from 3 different cultures that, is very wholesome. Very wholesome food comes from, like Arabic culture is very wholesome, family-oriented, a lot of heavy type of, kebabs and all that. Like in my culture, the same, kebab and rice and all kinds of...
Kabsa.
Yeah, spices, hummus you have too. Hummus and all that kind of stuff, which is good. Some of them are better than others, but it's delicious. We have to just keep watching what we cook with, how we put it together. We have to be mindful of how much the portion is and all that kind of stuff. I know the African food can be very wholesome and fattening too if we don't watch it.
You don't watch it, that's right.
What we put into it, I mean, I love African American food, like, all the collard greens and black eyed peas and all kinds of hamburgers and all that. I mean, I had, my share of relationships. I learned,
What'd you say, Masad?
Fast food, I think it's traditional food in America.
Yeah.
You got McDonald's there in your country?
Yeah.
Okay.
McDonald's is all over, making people sick all over the world.
Now I live. My neighborhood is McDonald's.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was I ate McDonald's. I like Burger King the best, but I ate McDonald's. And anything that came from a fast food place is what I was going to eat. So I never took the time because I was so busy, raising my children and doing the things that I'm supposed to do. And so I didn't take in consideration what damage I was actually doing to my body, and not only my body, but to the bodies of my children and thusly my grandchildren. What happens when you eat foods, you carry that from generation to generation. That's why we can say, breast cancer runs in our family, or hypertension, diabetes, or heart disease runs in our family. Well, yeah, it does, because there's a genetic imprint there that you have to deal with. Right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly, because...
Oops. Well, education is very important. At a cerebral level, but we need to also be mindful of keep choosing what's good for us, but also put ourselves in an environment that is nutritious as well.
That's right. That's right.
So, uh, um, like, in your opinion, can you say a little bit more, Mama, about like spiritual nutrition, for example, that would enhance our aging?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can get, aside from meditation, spending time connecting to your source has a big bearing on your emotional, physical, spiritual growth, especially as you age. I think, my personal opinion, the further away from your source you are, of course, the deader you are, quote unquote. And I liken that to a tree where a limb has fallen off or just hanging off. You know, over time, that limb that has detached from the tree turns brown, withers, and dies. And so it is not connected to the source, and it does not get that sustenance that runs through the vein of the tree. And that's what we need. We need that sustenance, that energy exchange between us and our source. And not only that, though, you can get your connection in meditation, but you get that in your food, and you get that in the intention of how you eat, how you live. And that is giving honor to your life source and giving honor to God. So it is,
or for some higher power, or for some even maybe atheists, and they say there is energy in the universe.
Exactly. And the universe is in us. It's outside and inside. And every cell in our body contains the DNA and the makeup of the universe. And so when we deny the universe, then we deny who we are essentially. And one of the evidences of us denying our divinity is to eat foolishness, and if we eat like we don't care, or we eat like there is no that we are the center of the universe, if we eat that way, then of course when we don't support our bodies in the way it should be supported, it breaks down, it detaches itself from the source, and it withers and dies. And so
yeah, so what you're basically what I hear you say in so many words is that we got to be connected to our divine.
Yes.
We got to be mindful of our the source within us that is connected to this, or rooted in this whole nutritious thing that we live in as bodies, as our spiritual being, or the intellect that exists within this whole container at the same time. What it reminds me of, the connection to our higher source, it reminds me of emotional intelligence. I don't know if you read that book. Emotional intelligence is our higher power that exists within us, within all of us. And in order to connect with that, however, we have to get in touch with it first in order to reflect it. If we do not, for example, reflect it, or if we do not, for example, recycle it, then we are just containers of empty bodies walking around with regurgitating garbage that is soulless foods, that it's not basically soul food.
Right, exactly.
They call it soul food because it has soul in it.
That's right.
And in order to get to soul food, you gotta be mindful of the nutrition and all of that. And soul food became somewhat as human being progressed, is that, maybe a little bit more oil is gonna taste better, let's add some more butter, let's add more salt, and then there is a whole gamut of research that done in African American community, that with all kinds of cancers and high blood pressure and all that kind of stuff, and soul food has become a watchful thing now.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and you know, just like you said earlier, people from all cultures eat. There's a balance. You know, you can put too much of one thing or the other and create a imbalance in your diet. But surely one of the biggest things that plague the African American family is that the is the is the is the diet, you know, and that diet has a whole lot to do with, like we said before, all kinds of other things. If you're not eating healthy foods, then of course you don't even think properly. You know, you don't function clearly. You're walking around in the fog. You don't process information correctly. There's a lot of things that happens to the body that
Hmm.
is just not with diabetes and hypertension, but it has the
Hmm.
whole, it carries a whole nother level of malnutrition. And so when we don't eat healthy and we don't get the right foods in our bodies, then we can't even connect, like we said earlier, to source, and we don't get that intuition that we're supposed to have, and we don't have that connection to our higher selves or to our source, and so we can't hear our spiritual messages, and we don't get.
Exactly, and
Yeah, go ahead.
that's exactly what we have to keep that balance or flow of physical regularity, emotional regularity, and our mental regularity as well. And with that, we have to keep the nutrition balance. We have to keep our mind in balance. We have to keep our emotion in balance in order to have that. You know, we have to be in one with that flow of where the universe is coming and going in different directions, just like a wind. You know, like just like a flow of water, just like a flow of frequency of God going around in this universe, if you will, or energy of the whole universe. They call it gravity, the power of gravity, or law of attraction.
Right.
It goes in many different levels. This issue.
That's right. Hey, you guys, you feel free to jump in. We have an open seat. If there's anyone who wants to share anything, feel free to do so. Wild Women Free, come on in. I'd love to hear what you have to say, especially about the spiritual part in nutrition. And that Straining, it was at RJ Straining. You guys jump in and share with us your testimony about healthy eating or spiritual connection with food and all of that kind of stuff, and aging, and how your diet is connected to your aging process.
Mama, may I
Mm-hmm.
add another piece to this?
Okay.
Because we are in a global processes now, more than ever, global economy, global nutrition, if you will, also global, you know, we are in a global information age.
Mm-hmm.
And our nutrition, whether it's you know, the food, crops, and whatnot, goes all around the world. We get different bits and pieces that we put into our diets, that comes from all over the world, and it goes around. There is all kinds of, for example, there was mad cow disease. There was, you know, all kinds of stuff that was killing people with eating different kinds of melons.
Mm-hmm.
It has been all kinds of pesticides in different fruits, vegetables,
Yeah.
that have killed people.
Yeah.
So this is a global issue. Whether it's in a nutritional, whatever food you put into your mouth, whether it's a fruit, vegetables, or meat. There is also a whole regurgitation system that is going around with the information in a cyberspace all around the world on daily basis. There is a lot of garbage that chit-chat away in our cyberspace that is not very nutritious. Our I could say, because I'm in, I have had enough of my academic background and still I do a lot of research. I know that there is a lot of information going around firsthand, and we are basically left with informing each other, because there is a lot of wrong information is going around by the pharmaceutical industry.
Yes.
To promote their garbage many times.
That's true.
And they selling it very expensively. Like there are pills that are up to $1,000 for one pill.
That's right.
There is also a lot of information that happens within, like, coaching. There are a lot of coaches and life coaches, and without any credentials, people are calling themselves, master coach, I don't know. There are all kinds of, friendly coach, educated coach. The people get their license in different things. But the whole nutritious love behind it is not there. They're just trying to sell something to you and make the buck and the money, whether it's PayPal around, whether it's, people send their paychecks or whatnot. And in addition to that, there is a whole problem that is going on within our education system around the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's outdated, it's not up to par. There is a lot of our nutrition or also our education is cloned, is not real, is farmed, is not wild, is farmed. Like farmed fish as opposed to wild fish.
Yeah, right.
It makes people sick and cancer producing. And now there is genetic engineered fish like salmon. Have you heard about the new salmon that is?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were we were up to the farmed fish. Now we went one step further, genetic engineered fish. I mean, if my nose appears another one on my head because I'm eating the genetic engineered fish, don't be surprised. Okay, people gonna have extra arm or extra leg coming out, or God knows what's gonna grow where. So there is a lot of, and then there's cloning a sheep.
Oh, I've never. Oh, yes, I have. Yeah.
Cloning sheep, cloning cats, and different pets that they glow in the dark. Have you heard?
No, I have never heard of that.
So don't be surprised if they're gonna have a steak in the grocery store that they're gonna advertise it, that is gonna you can turn off your lights off and have the steak, and it's gonna glow and it's gonna be all romantic,
Well, I don't eat meat. I have not.
Okay, but vegetables, they're genetically engineering vegetables.
Yeah.
So it's a very fine line. What I'm trying to say is that between what's real and what's made up or farmed, our chickens are wimps. They're not like the chicken in the wildlife in some Amazon jungle or something. They walk on a straight line if you let them go. Probably genetically farmed, like they cut their beaks, so they don't go at each other.
Oh, okay.
They are vegetables that you eat that it's not being naturally reproduced by the bees going around and expand the pollen.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Our bees, our bees are like brothers and sisters. They're dying in massive amounts. And then we got bees that are terrorists now.
Yeah, we got the
terrorist
strain.
We got terrorist bees that they go around and they attack people. They attack the other farm animals. They attack. We got some kind of global crisis going on, and it's not just a human terrorist. There are all kinds of bees and And now, did you hear about the new thing? There is like these mosquito terrorists that are terroring the women giving birth to these in South America and in have you heard?
No, I've
There
not
is
heard
all
that.
kinds of birth defects going on in parts of Brazil
Huh.
just by mosquito, like you would just tap and kill it.
Uh-huh.
But these mosquitoes, they attack the women, pregnant women, and now they are the birth defects is that the babies come out with a small head.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, Google it. It's a big thing now. I'm surprised you didn't hear about that.
I've not heard of that. No.
And they say it can be sexually transmitted now. They're kind of like wondering about that.
Really, I have not heard that. I might have to do some looking, some researching on that. I know.
Okay, I'm a researcher. That's why I keep on going around.
Well, I know that we, like I said before, we have to be mindful
Mhm.
that how we eat and how we live affect not only ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, but we affect our children and our grandchildren. And like I said, as we age, we become eventually dependent on other people like we were when we were children. And so if we live a life that causes us to be to need care, then it's kind of hard on your children. It's hard on
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
as a child, you don't want to see your parents sick and ailing and hurting. I mean, dying is a part of living, but I'm talking about being unhealthy to the point where and they could have done something about that. And I was telling someone else, if you drink alcohol all your life and then you stop, but your body still has that impression and your cells and that is still stored within your body. So naturally all of the acid or that the levels of acidity that has built up in your system, if you don't do anything about it, it manifests in sickness and disease. And so you wind up having to be something that you don't want to be in your old age, and that's a burden to your children.
Well, our genetic engineering is becoming a prevalent research space that it allows to study each and every gene and whether it's individual and collaboratively together of how they are functioning based on our nutrition, based on our information that we regurgitate, and also based on the as we mentioned, the spiritual aspect of it.
Right.
And one thing that I like to add to this piece again is what it may become more prevalent. I mean, as you mentioned, first off, aging is a spontaneous process. I mean, we cannot basically stop it, consciously try to manipulate. We cannot manipulate it, but we can put the best nutrition in place for ourselves as we eat well and take care of ourselves in order because my father was a medical doctor too, so I'm very educated in that area, but just by hanging out with my father when I was younger. So for example, when my father wanted to cure someone, and in the background that I have, for example, in country of Iran, the whole thing about is a different approach towards health. Doctors, they look at what you eat, what you do, where you go, what you have done, and the first thing that they ask you to do is to watch your diet.
Yeah.
And then after you've done that and nothing showed up or whatever, and they maybe start you by a very mild type of a medication if it's an urgent situation. But when me and my father came to America, we realized that, the approach here was, I mean, it's better a little bit now, but before it was like just take this medication, and they would say, eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we were like shocked. I mean, like, what's going on here?
That's right.
So now, with this whole thing, what's coming to surface with all this, the emotional intelligence that I mentioned, and they're studying the frequency of each and every gene
Oh.
in the laboratories, yeah. And of course, at the global situation at large, it's a very slow process because it needs a humongous amount of funding that is going on with the pharmaceutical trying to, just push a drug to you, prescription drug, of course. But the whole bit is that what's coming out is called spontaneous nutrition.
Spontaneous. Spontaneous aging.
Or I should say spontaneous diet.
Okay.
That means that, you, for every piece that you put in your mouth, every word that you put into your mind or you say it, everything that you write, everything that you may feel, because of the intent, in other words, every little thing has a different frequency. For example, a piece of plum have a different frequency than a piece of fish.
Right.
Piece of nuts has a different frequency than a piece of pistachio, for example.
Right.
So spontaneous diet, it means that you don't think about, I have to have a meal and this and that or the other. You eat for energy, you eat for health, you eat for enjoyment. And within that process, when you keep the balance of what you eat and what you say and what you feel in that, collaboration, you start to be more like loving, because love comes from within.
Right.
You gotta, like, if someone doesn't feel love, they have to have love in order to communicate. That recycle goes on.
Right. Well, let's talk about. I don't know if I said it before you came on, but when we talk about inflammation in the body and where inflammation comes from, I'm not sure if you will be able to expound on it, but when I was talking about inflammation, when you have inflammation in your joints, and we know a lot of our seniors, and people that don't have to necessarily be that old, but they experience rheumatoid arthritis or have arthritis in their joints, which is inflammation. And, for the most part, inflammation there's a purpose for inflammation. If you bang your foot or you hurt your leg or something, your body becomes inflamed. It's your body's way of protecting that area and helping to heal it. But when your body becomes over inundated with inflammation, when it becomes a systemic problem, then you have your body
pain.
You have pain, right? And so I know one of the things I was telling, I think my mom, that with her hands, with the arthritis in her hands, it is connected emotionally to things that she never thought that they would be connected to.
Or migraine headaches.
Yes.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yes, migraine headaches is inflammation. It has to do with that.
Or lower back.
Yeah, what is the lower back? Well, I don't know. There's a particular one. I know the lungs would be tuberculosis, but
many people have a lower back problem in the society because of these inflammations.
Exactly.
They have their good days, they have their bad days. During for example, rainy days, they are worse than sunny days.
Right. It's that pressure. That's pressure. And so that's, inflammation is stagnant energy. And so within her hands, there is a imprint, or there's a message within the joints that says, I'm having problems holding on and dealing with reality. So if you have a senior citizen who has rheumatoid arthritis, it mentally they're saying, especially within the hands, I'm having a problem holding on to a reality. One of the reality or one of the problems could be, I'm getting older and I'm no longer able to live independently. And so the reality is that I have to depend on my children, which takes away my independence, and I'm not happy with that,
Mhm.
And so
That's a big piece. That's a big piece because I'm 51 years old, and my wife is around the same age as me, and we had to. I mean, she had to go to the doctor because her knees was like really bothering her, and she had to take some urgent medication to bring down the inflammation. And the doctor was saying that when the body tries to balances itself out a little bit more than what it needs to, it starts to this is like when it's doing too much, it's like attacking itself already.
Exactly. That's autoimmune. Right.
Exactly. So this autoimmune immune system is out of whack.
Yeah.
And I had my knee problem also, and joints and this, and but it comes with aging. But I had to watch my diet more carefully, and the doctor always says, bring down your weight, another 10, 20 pounds or whatever you need. And that should bring the inflammation overall for your body. So that's a big piece because, migraine headaches and all that. I have, pretty much experienced this, not to that level that I needed to take. I mean, I took aspirin, for example, but not to the levels that I needed to go and take consistent medication prescription from the doctor.
Right.
But a lot of people do go vegan because of this, because there is as we were talking about, there is this with this meat, when they give so many antibiotics and hormones to these animals to make them grow fast, and for them to get ready for the kill. I mean, that's what happens. There is a lot of synthetic hormones that are in the food. There is a lot of synthetic, engineering going on with the vegetables and fruits and everything. So that's a big piece when people have to, when they hear this, they have to go and try to eat organic, and organic is more expensive than the regular stuff. So people start to kind of want to save money during these economic challenging times.
Yeah.
So that becomes a big challenge. I mean, we got to be really mindful when it comes to inflammation.
Okay.
Right.
You want to follow her? You want to follow her? Okay.
Hey, VA Barnes, I'll let you come in. What we were saying, what I'm saying is, when we talk about, what I want to talk about is the effects of inflammation as it pertains to your body in aging. What happens, the kinds of foods that you eat and what you're doing to your body, how it affects you as you get older. That's where we are. That's where I am with this blab. Do you have anything to contribute to that?
Mama, I do apologize. I'm actually a technician working fixing VA's my church member / client system. So I'm actually Curtis, by the way, everybody.
Hey,
Hi. And just a little FYI, since I get the impression this is a new service, her system seemed to be running totally fine in every other regard except the sound coming to her from Blab was breaking up a lot. And once again, there was none of the usual indications that there was a problem with the system. But after I ran some other tests, I saw that if I just wipe the system and did a fresh start, as I do with the common virus cleanup, that it would smooth out. And lo and behold, by the way, how clearly am I coming through
I
sound
can hear
wise?
you. It fluctuates, but your picture doesn't move very much.
Okay. We've got a pretty decent cable-based connection, but I picked this blab because I do like health. So please forgive me. Way out the door to the meeting. Tell me again what the topic is being discussed here regarding aging and food.
Well, what I'm talking about is health, your diet, and aging. What your diet does to your body.
Oh,
Yeah, as you age. Yeah.
Okay.
And so part of the challenge, the reason why I started the Blab is I was sharing how my mom is very, very sick. And so I told her that part of her problem was she didn't believe me, and she's been going on the strength of what the doctor says. But what I told her intuitively, and with some training that I do have, is that her body is very acidic and is not happy. It is not happy. And her immune system is fighting desperately to bring some sort of balance to her body because it's so far out of whack. And so now her body is responding angrily to all of this stimuli, to all this stuff that's happening, and it's attacking her entire system. So she's dealing with some autoimmune problems where her body is saying, listen, this is happening and I don't want this happening. I want all of this gone. And so anything that looks like what this is, I'm going to get rid of it. And so, and that causes a problem. So now she has several things that's going on with her body. But the whole thing is, I was saying that if we as young people don't take care of our diets and our bodies now, then that is a selfish move, because as we get older, we become dependent on children and grandchildren to care for us. And we say that, listen, I don't really care about what you want and your life. What you have to do now is take care of me. And I have lived my life the way I wanted to. Now you're going to be responsible for the BS that I did to myself. So that's what we're talking about. So thank you, Godessa.
Okay.
So that's how that's how I was responding.
Okay. Well, let me give personal experience in that very directly related to your own. My mother's a breast cancer survivor after quite a few years, or quite a few years of breast cancer survivor. I was there by her side going through it. And so she had the conventional, after doing alternative treatment that was successful, that we just couldn't afford to follow up with. It did come back, but she went the conventional route with the chemo and the radiation. But unlike practically everybody we had ever known of that had the conventional with chemo, she had practically no nausea going through it. We feel like she recovered very quickly from those conventional treatments, and we believe it's because of how well, despite her having gotten the cancer, how well she had been taking care of her body as far as, taking a lot of different nutritional supplements, eating right, having a healthy outlook on life, etc. And we know for a fact that that's what's helped her to stay cancer free as long as she has been. People in the community ask how she's doing, or we'll joke, we're trying to learn how to be as good as she's being. So
meat?
Yeah.
Is she eating meat?
She does from time to time. She's not a big fan of red meat. I think she's more a closet fan of red meat, because when I'll bring a certain kind of hamburger by, she'll shed her beef, poultry, not beef, but poultry and seafood, persona, and the red meat will come out of the closet.
I would say,
but no,
Go ahead.
Yeah, but for the most part, she eats very healthy. She doesn't bog herself down. She watches her caloric intake. She does, for the most part, she does all the right stuff, even though she does still do animal products. she does it all within,
Yeah,
with
and that's
moderation.
that's the key, balance and moderation. Now, I would say don't do any animal products, but and that's because of what we have going on today. How now, if we were on the farm and we had our own animals and we took care of them, we planted our own fruits and vegetables, and we lived on the land like we used to, then of course, certain things would be okay, but we're not. That's not how we live now. And most of our foods are manufactured.
Right.
They're grown in laboratories, or they're grown in specific places. And our as the doctor said, they're clones and animals full of steroids and stuff. And so it makes a difference how you eat. So I would say, not eat any, if you can, not eat any animal products. That especially dairy, no cheese, no meats and things of that nature, if you can.
Yeah, but also it is important, Mama, that doctors do recommend for people to keep a balanced diet, because there is different gene factor in place that different people need to keep different diet and nutrition in place. So, if vegan, for example, is working for you, more power to you. There's some people that the doctor says, at least once a week, try to have, 6 ounces of meat in your diet, for example, just for the iron and whatnot, because there's some people, they don't take any iron or they don't like to take supplements.
Right.
So we have to
It's,
maybe
120.
say that also, just for people to keep in mind that they do consult with their medical doctor as well if they have any condition going on.
Yeah.
So they don't run into any problems.
Yeah, I would say that too. You do have to consult with your medical provider, what is best. But I do know that a lot of doctors don't know anything about nutrition. So therein lies a problem. There's a disconnect between your dermatologist and your nutritionist and whatever other doctor you go see. There's a big disconnect. And so, and of course, I think it's intentional. They don't work as a team for the most part for your health. Now, I think the glue that holds them together is the pharmaceutical companies, in which, companies are V8 Barnes. I'm gonna have to disconnect. There he goes. That they work hand in hand. So what we're going to have to do, or what we should do and I'm going to bring this blab to a close, but what we should do is make sure that we are living a life that is inclusive, meaning to include our children and our grandchildren. I'm living the best life that I can right now, and I'm being the best version of myself right now, because if I eat healthy and if I live a healthier lifestyle, then I have more time to spend with my children and my grandchildren. And at the point that I'm older and I'm unable to do certain things, at least it won't be because I have created this this life or this energy that says, I'm sick and I can't function, I can't live, and I'm gonna need you to do these things for me. And so
what you're talking about, having a quality of life in place, like many in Asian culture, they believe in not aging. Yes, it does happen, but they're what they say is that we got to age gracefully.
Exactly, age gracefully. And that was one of the things I wanted to, that was why I started this blab, is because if you think about it, my mom and dad divorced when I was young, and I am the only child. And being the only child and having a sick parent is very hard. It's a hard thing. And we don't think about how difficult life is when we get older, and what we'll have to do, and the things that we have to do singularly by yourself. And so I don't have a brother and sister who can help me take care of mom or help me take care of dad.
But we are all brothers and sisters at large.
Well,
we are all brothers and sisters, basically.
Yeah, but I don't have a sister or a brother.
Physically.
With me to help offset the amount of stress that it takes to take care of a elderly parent or an aging parent, a sick parent
Yeah.
aging. So a lot of the things that we do now, if we don't eat healthy and take care of ourselves, we're really saying that what I want to do right now is more important than what is going to happen later. And that's what I really wanted to communicate with this blab, is that we have to be intentional about how we live today.
Would you say, Mama, that it takes decision and commitment and perseverance in this?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. I mean, this is not easy. This is not easy. Which camera and how are you? I don't know. This is not easy. It takes a commitment to living healthy, exercise, diet, and doing it. It's all intentional, but it's a purpose. It is the investment that you make in yourself. And this is the time that you have to do that self-love. You know, I
Yes.
love myself enough to make the investment on my health today.
Right on.
When I'm so sick that I have to have 23 pills to take in a day to help me, live, or not so sick that I have to have oxygen all night long or all day long because I can't breathe. I can't walk 40 steps without being, losing my breath. So you
Yeah. I mean, not only for your grandchildren, not only for your mother. I think all of us do need you around for a long, long time.
That's right.
Mama.
That's right. Well, I am going to.
So, okay, yes. I just wanted to say that, I appreciate you accepting me to come in, and I'm glad I could be a contribution to your show. And my show, which is whenever I come on, which I'm very spontaneous about it, which at any time 24/7 may come on, is a marketing platform that everyone with different backgrounds like yourself or more, whether they are medical doctor to the astronaut to the president to whoever, personally, professionally, politically, they can come in and introduce themselves just like this. And wanted to thank you for this opportunity and hope to see you around soon, Mama.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope to see you as well.
And more power to you, more to your grandkids and children and your mother as well.
I love grandchildren. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, before I go, if anyone had a comment, wanted to make a comment about or share a story, I do have actually 15 more minutes. So if there's anyone that had anything to say, feel free to jump in that seat quickly and share your story. And if you do not, then I can go ahead and close off. I am so thankful for all of those who popped in and out, and for everyone who has commented and shared via the chat. And I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. I'll be doing some more blabs. This is only my second blab. So, V.I. Barnes. Okay, here you go. Hey, are you there?
Yes, all right.
There you are.
Okay.
Did you want to come in, or are you just still fixing on your computer, the computer?
Yeah, I wanted to come in.
Okay.
I'd like to share from the perspective of better bad choices, if you're comfortable having that in this particular blab.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So I am a red meat consumer, but on the subject of better bad choice, and I do primarily fast food. Now, I'm not promoting both, but this is what I wanted to offer. For example, just because of the way my business is, and that's not an excuse, that's just how it is, and how I choose to do things is I'll do the fast food and I'll do burgers, but I'll basically graze on it. So I'll get me a burger, a double meat burger, and I'll get a bite or two. you know, maybe every 30 minutes, once an hour or something like that, to where it'll just, you know, it'll ride. I know that may sound unhealthy, letting it ride with me like that, but that's how I think I've been able to, you know, maintain a good health. And so what I want to say to everyone is, as we've heard so much, don't bog your system down with a lot of calories, even if it's agreed by everyone that it's a good source of nutrients. Okay, that's just unhealthy because it'll still spike your sugar, you know, yeah, not as quickly as plain sugar or carbohydrates. If for whatever reason you're not doing vegan, you're not doing lean poultry or seafood, if you are doing what I call the bad choices, do them better by just doing a little bit at a time, and be sure to get your fruits and vegetables in as frequently as you can. Along with that, water, 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 everyone. Appreciate.
Yeah.
This is for what y'all saw me do. Yeah. Oh, there was something. And something that I've learned that is not common knowledge by everyone is the reason that there are more, slight side step, the reason there are more colds in the cool months is not because of exposure to cold. It's because we're less thirsty and therefore not drinking as much water as we do in the warm months. The second reason is because the kids are all back in school and passing all those, you know, cold viruses around and bringing them back home. Now, personal experience and observed experience, when I've given this advice and I've been able to follow up with them and observe that, you know, and learn that they have followed that advice. If someone has started getting the sniffles, the first thing I ask them, hey, what has your water intake been like the last 3 days? Invariably, like I think most people, whether or not they got a cold or not, yeah, no, I haven't been drinking much water.
That's exactly right.
What I've observed and experienced personally is if it's early enough in the day where they can start drinking the water as if it were prescribed medicine.
Yes.
Getting it in frequent and small amounts as if it were an IV. So my specific recommendation is usually, hey, at least a third of a bottle every 30 to 45 minutes. Keep your empties when you're able to, and that's like the chart marks on the wall of how much you've done. When people will kick their water intake up like that, usually by bedtime, no, they're not well, but everybody I followed up with that's done it have reported that they noticed an improvement.
This is true.
So that's my contribution for the evening. It's been a pleasure chatting with you all.
That's a good contribution.
Well, thank you. Now, even though you don't know what video camera you have, how are you lighting up your area? Because that's a big part of good video quality.
Okay. Sidebar. I think this is it is a Logitech HD camera, webcam, and I'm using old-fashioned mechanic lighting with the silver.
Oh yeah. I know what you with the clamp.
Yeah, with the clamp. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
With the clamp.
Okay, so just that one light, and now what else do you have in the distance? Just the room to the left of you, to the right of you?
Yeah, I have outside lights. No, yeah, outdoor lighting. So you know the light bulbs that you get for outside. I have outside lights for natural light with the clamp. So I actually I have two on. I have two on, and
the second one is in the distance a little bit.
Yeah, the second one is in the distance. The other one I broke, and so it's supposed to be over here on this side. But that's all I have.
Well, I'll tell you what, however you have it, it's perfect. Okay, so
great.
Well, I'll be looking forward to. So, are you planning to do this blab with any schedule or regularity, or how can I find you again?
Right now, I have not set up a permanent schedule of blabs, but right now they're spontaneous. But I will in the future, which in the next couple of days, determine how I'm going to use blab. This is only my second blab. I haven't fully determined how I'm going to use it,
Okay.
how I'm going to interact on there. But it certainly is a great medium, a great a platform to use. But I thank you for that contribution about the water, because that is important. You have to stay hydrated. And one of the reasons why we have sickness is because we don't drink water. We don't flush our system. What I do is the first thing that I do within the first 30 minutes that I open my eyes, I put a bottle of water at my bed. And before I really get out of bed, I drink room temperature water. And then once I get up moving around, instead of coffee, I've started drinking warm lemon water, cayenne pepper, cinnamon, something like that, with a little vinegar for my hypertension and for fat burning. And all day, then I drink water, I juice all day, I nibble all day, I graze all day, but it's on, fresh fruits and vegetables. And then by the end of the day, maybe an hour before bed, I drink a bottle of water, or maybe two. But at least give me enough time so I can go to the bathroom, so I won't have to use the bathroom during the night. But, I drink the water, and I think there was somewhere I read that drinking water at night can help you with to help your body keep from having heart attacks, and at night and all that kind of stuff. But your body is on a cycle. Your body detoxes in a particular cycle. So if you get that water in, then you can really knock out most of the sickness and disease. It's like putting water on a fire. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's about it. Anyway, thank you so much for participating.
My pleasure. I'm new to this platform. I was introduced to Blab when I came out to do this servicing. How would I communicate? How would I communicate with you to check and see when you might be blabbing again? How does that normally work?
Well, it'll pop in if I schedule something. If you're on Blab, if you register with Blab, then you'll get, I think, an email or it'll let you a notification that I have put up a Blab, or that I've scheduled one, or that I'm currently on one. It's easy to do. I think I can find
like follow or save or something like that for it to notify me.
Just hit there to once you get on, you can
now
look for my name.
I'll tell you what, let me log out of hers and log into mine. I see this plus next to your name. Is that what I would click?
Yes, but you'll be doing it for her though, because if you're registered under her.
Give me a moment. Let me log out and log back in with my with my Twitter. Okay, give me a second.
Someone said you have to turn on your notifications in your settings.
Okay, give me a second.
It's in the profile settings. Yeah. Once you walk in.
How do I log out? Oh, this is interesting. I'll tell you what. I'm going to use a different browser. Let's see. Copy.
Oh, yeah, you can use a different browser.
Let's see if I can show up in two places. Let's see. Let's go here. Give me a moment. New private window. Okay. Paste and go.
Yeah, you see it.
Okay, so I'm in a different browser. Let's see if it's gonna treat me right.
So while you're doing that,
and what I'm optimistic is that it'll look like I'm coming in from two different computers. Okay, no, okay, that's interesting. Despite me being in a different browser, it recognized I was already logged in on another one. Okay. Yeah, so let me. How do I sign out? You know how to sign out?
No, somebody else know how to sign out. I think it's go up to profile, and I think there's a way to sign out, profile settings or something like that. Yeah, see, I think that's how you do it. Does anyone else want to jump in right quick? I have a few more minutes. If you want to share something about health and aging and your body, that's great. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys sitting in and staying, a lot of you, well, the ones that are here. It is a big transition. It's difficult, not just a transition, but it's difficult when you are a single person taking care of grandchildren and children and parent. It is difficult. And so the whole purpose of me saying this was that we have to be cognizant, be aware of how we live today, because our tomorrows may be, our tomorrows are uncertain, and we may wind up having to depend on others, as we normally would. You know, we all should love our elders and take care of them. But it is very hard to do so when your lifestyle as an elder is as a result of how you lived when you were younger. But that's it says what the Mediterranean diet is considered as one of the healthiest in the world. I did not know that. I did not know that. Why is it considered such? Is it because of the spices, or what exactly? I use lots of spices. I actually love herbs, and so on my website I sell a lot of herbs, herbal teas, and things like that to help with your body and to help your body to function carefully because of the combination of seafood and herbs. Okay. All right. I see that. Okay. So you, I think balance is the key. Balance is definitely the key to having a healthy whole lifestyle. Right, together with leafy vegetables and fruits. Exactly. And that's the key to a good diet is all things in moderation, but a healthy portion of vegetables, some fruits. If you eat meats, then meats, of course. But eating clean has saved my life. It actually saved my life. And so while I know that there are some forms of foods, meat products that can be healthy, I have elected to keep that as far away from my diet as possible. But there are times and occasions that I do. I love my body. I do my best. So if my body desires it, I don't completely live in I'm not guilty. I don't make myself feel guilty by wanting something, but I am aware that if I'm craving something, there may be something else going on in my body. So if I'm craving sweets or whatever, then it could be a symptom of something else. So I have herbal cleanses, detoxes, things to help you. I have a kidney and a kidney, liver, and a urinary tract detox that can be used to get rid of all of the toxins built up in your system. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to shut the blab down. You guys be blessed, and I will see you soon. Mama Sunfire. Bye-bye.